This book is called Who Will Comfort Toffle? And it's by Tove Jansson. Hi, I'm Kyron's mom, and we're going to read this book by the author, Tove Jansson. She's from Finland, and she was a very well-known children's author in Finland. Unfortunately, she died in 2001, but she was born in 1914, so she lived a long life, and she was a very famous author. So here's one of her stories. I hope you enjoy it. Who lives inside this little house? It's Toffle, all alone. Poor Toffle doesn't notice quite how lonely he has grown. Outside he hears the Grok's shrill howl, Hemulin's heavy tread, as nervously he lights his lamp to guide his way to bed. Around him, forest creatures close their doors against the night and keep each other safe from harm with smiles and warmth and light. But Toffle's feeling cold and sad, with no companion near. He burrows under bedclothes, body shivering with fear. So who will comfort Toffle and tell him, "Hush now, it's okay. Life's bound to seem much brighter when tomorrow comes your way." Next morning, in the foggy gray, before the sun comes out, Toffle decides to step outdoors and have a peek about. He made it through the night, but he would rather eat his hat for breakfast every day than spend another night like that. He packs his case and runs head first into the misty gloom. Then looking back, he sees that all the lamps inside his room are burning low. When Toffle left, he didn't close his door, and now he groans to think of raindrops dripping on his floor. But who will comfort Toffle? For in fact, a happy band of fellow Toffles moved straight in and took the place in hand. So Toffle walks for miles until he sees a crowd of folk, all laughing with each other, taking time to share a joke. But no one spots poor Toffle, and he guesses with dismay that nobody will notice him or even look his way. He watches from the shadows as 4 filionks scoot past, and 8 contented wompses, each more jolly than the last. Mimble and Mai with daisy chains, they're all in a party mood. Toffle could go and talk to them. No one would think him rude. But who will comfort Toffle? Who would tell him, in the end, if all you do is hide away, you'll never find a friend? A few miles further on, and Toffle's shoes begin to pinch. His feet are sore and tired. He cannot move another inch. He parks his trusty suitcase underneath the sun's bright glare. What a relief, thinks Toffle, that I've got a comfy chair. And as he sits, soft music floods his ears from far away, where Snufkin plays his silver flute in summer's sleepy bay. Snufkin has never had a heavy load or painful feet. He wanders through green fields of flowers. His life must be a treat. But who will comfort Toffle and persuade him that a song is better than a suitcase when the road is hard and long? So Toffle trudges westwards, though in fact he doesn't know where he'll end up or what to do or where on earth to go. As he tiptoes through the woods, he hears the sounds of bells and spots some merry wompses spinning round on carousels, dancers with flowers on their tails and lights as bright as moons, and heaps of pancakes stuffed with jam and cakes and macaroons, while Hemulin lights fireworks near the tall umbrella trees. How lonely it must feel to be a Toffle no one sees. So who will comfort Toffle and explain the way things go? They'd know he was there if only he would say hello. Toffle picks up his case and makes his way toward the beach. He sees a big white shell. What luck! It's just within his reach. He pulls his shoes off, feels his toes sink into the soft white sand as he admires the pale blue sky, the sea, the rippling land. How wonderful, thinks Toffle. I can rest, or dance, or shout, or fill my hat with pebbles. Even so, he can't work out why he's still not happy. There's no one in his way, no Hemulin or Groke nearby. He ought to feel okay. So who will comfort Toffle and remind him that a shell is nicer when there's someone to show it to as well? In shallow water near the shore, mysteries are afloat. Toffle can see a bottle, and inside it there's a note. He paddles out to rescue it, to see what it might say. If it was signed, the sea has washed its signature away. But Toffle has the moon, which is the perfect reading lamp. He'll work it out, although the words are blurred and damp. He reads aloud, "I'm terrified. Won't someone come and help? Won't someone protect me when the Groke begins to yelp? If you are strong and wise and brave, please will you call or write? I'm just a little miffle, and it's very nearly night." Toffle can't bear to think of it, a girl alone and sad. His heart beats fast. This letter is the first he's ever had. He folds it carefully in half and keeps it near his chest, feeling as it's meant for him, though it was not addressed. He leaves his hat and shoes behind and takes a gentle dip. Only a small one, though. This sea's too cold without a ship, Toffle decides. He empties out the pebbles from his case, then climbs inside and rows away, keeping a steady pace. The moonlight winks and Toffle thinks, "I'm happy. Yes, indeed. I know a miffle needs me, and a miffle's all I need." So Toffle sails past 3 whales, each with a water spout. The sky is gray, a gloomy day. Toffle hears someone shout, "By Jove, I'm cold." It's Hemulin. His voice is hoarse and gruff. Inside his rubber ring, he wriggles, "Brr, I've had enough." And Toffle says quite shyly, "I'm absolutely sure, if you'll excuse me for saying so, that we have met before." Fillyonk in her party frock waves as she floats nearby. 9 whoopses pass in 6 blue boats, and number 5 says hi. I should reply, thinks Toffle, since she said hello to me. But who will come for a miffle if I dawdle endlessly? The Groke's Black Mountain hideaway looms over Toffle's head. "I think I'll visit Booble, where his fishing net is spread," says Toffle, "but I'd best be quick and not get in the way of Booble and his friends the Wampses on their holiday." "Excuse me, Booble, but has Miffle passed your fishing rod?" "Yes, I believe she has," says Booble. "It was rather odd. She flew past in a panic just a day or so ago, and as far as she ended up, well, only Groke would know. Toffle, I'd love to have you spend the afternoon with me, but who will comfort Miffle if you linger by the sea?" Night falls as Toffle wanders through a forest where the swarms of bats all shake their wings at him, and little furry forms of creatures brush against his knees, and pairs of peering eyes stare from among the tree trunks. He hears whispers, growls, and cries, and though he's very frightened, Toffle knows he must be brave. There's a frightened Miffle that he simply has to save. He dives inside the nearest hole as Groke begins to shriek, but makes himself climb out again. How can I be so weak? He stamps his angry foot. At last rage has replaced his fear. Scared Miffles need brave Toffles when the frightful Grokes appear. What is this dark and silent place? Is it the Groke's black yard? Yes, if the moon is hiding and the ground is frozen hard, and here's the Groke with yellow eyes, a fierce and awful sight, chilling the air around her, turning afternoon to night. Toffle is very nervous. If he makes a small mistake, his plan might fail. He knows it has to work for Miffle's sake. Toffle begins his battle dance and hopes that he can win. When Groke is least expecting it, he bites her on the shin. Groke howls and runs away. Poor Miffle, always quick to scare, is even quicker to console now Groke's no longer there. Now Toffle looks at Miffle. They exchange a timid smile that says as much words perhaps, but only for a while, since there are certain things that even smiles cannot express. "I'll write to you instead," says Toffle. "That's the answer, yes." But when he tries to write about how lonely he has been, about how his house and Hemulin and the smooth white shell he's seen, the Groke, the night he sailed the sea, he finds no words will come. He's too shy to write his tale. Poor Toffle is struck dumb. So who will comfort Toffle now? Will someone lend a hand and help him write to Miffle so that she can understand? Find some writing paper. You won't need a stamp. Just stick the letter on a rose bush where you're sure Miffle will see it. When Miffle reads the letter, which she finds a little tough, Toffle's peculiar signature is difficult enough. Her roses turn from white to red right before Miffle's eyes. Miffle falls into Toffle's arms and gives him a hug and cries, "Forget the past and all your fears. Think of the super fun that we can have. I'd love to see the beach, a shell, the sun." So off they sailed, two special guests on Filionk's red boat, and the Woompses wave and cheer to see the happy pair afloat. And Miffle knows, and Toffle knows, that both have seen the end of fear and fright and long dark night, now that each has found a friend. And here are Toffle and Miffle living happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Who will comfort Toffle? Have a great day, boys and girls, and thank Kyron for the book suggestion. Bye-bye.